Have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself why some people seem to accomplish almost anything they set out to do, while others struggle their entire lives to get even a glimpse of what they want? Imagine a person who wakes up every morning with clarity, focus, and unstoppable drive, moving toward goals that others might call impossible. What if I told you the difference between them and the average person isn't luck or even talent, but something far simpler, something you can learn and master if you choose to? That difference is the mind trained to achieve anything it desires. You see, most people live their lives as if they are passengers in a car that someone else is driving. They allow circumstances, opinions, and setbacks to dictate their direction. But there's a law, an invisible law, that governs success in every aspect of life, and it begins with your thoughts. You are not at the mercy of the world is at the mercy of your mind. What you think about most often and most intensely is what you become. This is not philosophy, it is principle, and it is as real as the air you breathe. Think for a moment about the people you admire. What do they have that sets them apart? Is it wealth, fame, or status? Perhaps, but these are merely results. What truly sets them apart is their mental approach, their ability to control the direction of their thoughts. The mind that is focused on possibilities and solutions will always outperform the mind that is focused on problems and limitations. If you want to achieve anything you desire, you must first train your mind to think in a particular way, a way that leads inevitably to success. Now, I want you to imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought you plant is like a seed. Some seeds will grow into beautiful, thriving plants, while others will become weeds that choke out the life of the flowers. You don't plant weeds on purpose, but if you neglect your garden, weeds will grow anyway. The same is true of your mind. If you allow negative thoughts, doubts, and fears to take root, they will grow, and they will prevent anything beautiful from flourishing. But if you plant seeds of clarity, purpose, and belief, and you nurture them consistently, there is no limit to what can grow. Consider this. If you could train your mind to see opportunity where others see obstacles, to focus on solutions instead of problems, to believe in your ability when no one else does, how different would your life be? The power to shape your destiny lies within your thoughts. You must take responsibility for them, guard them carefully, and direct them intentionally. The first step in training your mind is to become aware of what you are thinking. Most people are not aware. They let thoughts drift in and out as if they were clouds in the sky. But if you look closer, you will see patterns. You will notice that some thoughts empower you while others hold you back. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you begin to understand the architecture of your mind. This is where change begins, because you cannot control what you do not notice. Once you are aware, you can begin the process of deliberate thought. Every successful person you have ever admired is deliberate about their thinking. They do not leave their mind to chance. They feed it with ideas, visions, and possibilities that serve their purpose. They know that the mind is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used to build or destroy. The question is, which will you choose? One powerful technique is visualization. Imagine the life you desire with vivid detail. Picture yourself achieving your goals, feeling the emotions that come with success, seeing the world as you wish it to be. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced in reality. By training your mind to experience success in advance, you create a blueprint for your actions. It is as if you are telling your subconscious, "This is the path I am committed to, and I will find a way to make it real." But visualization alone is not enough. You must combine it with belief. Belief is the fuel that transforms thought into reality. Without belief, the mind cannot mobilize the energy required to achieve. Have you ever noticed how someone who truly believes in themselves can accomplish things that seem impossible to everyone else? That belief is not magic. It is a concentrated, unwavering focus of the mind on a single outcome. You can develop that belief by consistently affirming your ability, by reminding yourself daily that what you desire is possible, and by refusing to entertain thoughts that contradict your goal. Now, let's talk about the most important aspect of training your mind: action. You can visualize and believe all day long, but unless you act, nothing will change. The mind is a compass, and action is the journey. Thoughts alone will not move you forward. They will only prepare you to move. But the combination of focus, thought, belief, and consistent action creates unstoppable momentum. Take small steps every day in the direction of your goal, and you will be amazed at how far you can go. There is a story I want to share that perfectly illustrates this principle. A young man once dreamed of becoming a great writer. He had no connections, no wealth, and no experience. Yet every day he wrote. Every day he read and studied the craft. Every day he imagined his words touching lives and inspiring change. People told him he would never succeed, but he never allowed that to enter his mind. Years later, his words reached millions, shaping hearts and minds around the world. What made the difference? Not luck, not talent, pure mental discipline combined with persistent action. And this is the beauty of the human mind. It is infinitely capable. There is no limit to what you can achieve once you have mastered your thoughts. But there is a catch. You must treat your mind as a precious resource. You must guard it against negativity, gossip, fear, and doubt. The mind is like a magnet. It attracts what it focuses on. If you focus on fear, you attract more fear. If you focus on opportunity, you attract more opportunity. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every image you allow into your mind either builds or diminishes your potential. I want you to consider this for a moment. What would happen if, starting today, you committed to thinking only about what you want, rather than what you don't want? What if you stopped giving attention to problems and instead sought solutions? What if you refused to listen to negative voices, both inside and outside your head, and instead tuned your mind to the frequency of possibility? The results would be dramatic. You would begin to notice opportunities you had overlooked. You would find resources and people willing to help you. You would start to act with confidence and clarity, and the world would begin to respond to your focused energy. One secret many people overlook is that the mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. Whatever you consistently picture and believe, the mind accepts as true. This is why it is so important to feed your mind deliberately. Fill it with ideas that empower, stories that inspire, and knowledge that equips you for the life you desire. Guard it against fear, anger, resentment, and self-doubt. These are the weeds in your mental garden. Pull them out before they take root. Discipline is the bridge between desire and accomplishment. You must train yourself to think productively even when you do not feel like it. You must focus on what you can control rather than lament what you cannot. You must cultivate patience, for the mind does not change overnight. Like any muscle, it grows stronger with use, with repetition, and with consistent attention. Each day you are either strengthening your mind or allowing it to weaken. There is no neutral ground. Have you ever noticed how people who seem lucky always seem to be in the right place at the right time? Luck is nothing more than the result of a prepared mind-meeting opportunity. The mind that is disciplined, focused, and trained is always ready to recognize and seize opportunity. It notices what others overlook, takes action when others hesitate, and persists when others quit. That is the real secret behind achievement, and it is available to everyone willing to master their thoughts. Ask yourself this: what would your life look like if you stopped allowing fear to dictate your choices? What if you replaced every doubt with curiosity, every worry with a question, and every limitation with a possibility? The mind trained in this way becomes a magnet for success. It begins to operate with a sense of purpose that attracts people, ideas, and resources aligned with your goals. The energy you put into your thoughts shapes the world around you in ways you might not even notice at first, but over time, the results become undeniable. Remember, the mind is a tool, and like any tool, it must be used correctly. Many people use their minds for worry, complaint, and regret. They rehearse their failures and magnify their problems, but the mind that is trained for achievement focuses relentlessly on solutions, possibilities, and actions. It asks questions like, how can I do this, rather than why can't I do this? It seeks growth rather than comfort, results rather than excuses, and opportunity rather than fear. Consider the power of daily habit. The thoughts you entertain repeatedly form the foundation of your character. Repeated actions become habits. Habits shape behavior. Behavior determines results. By choosing what you think about each day, you shape your future. Train your mind to focus on what is constructive, uplifting, and purposeful, and you create a life that is extraordinary. Curiosity is another key. The mind that achieves is always learning, always questioning, always exploring. It does not settle for what is, it seeks what could be. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone, and every challenge an opportunity to grow. When you cultivate curiosity, you awaken creativity, resilience, and resourcefulness, the very traits that turn desire into achievement. You must also understand the power of focus. The human mind can do many things at once, but excellence requires concentration. The more you focus on a single goal, the stronger your ability to achieve it becomes. Distractions will always exist, but the mind trained for achievement knows how to filter out the noise and direct its energy toward what matters most. Every minute you spend thinking about your goal compounds like interest in a bank account. Over time, the results are astonishing. And let us not forget the importance of belief in others. A mind trained for achievement does not operate in isolation. It seeks mentors, allies, and inspiration from those who have gone before. It recognizes that the journey is easier when guided by wisdom, yet it remains self-reliant, knowing that the ultimate responsibility for success rests within. The combination of guidance, learning, and self-belief forms a powerful force that propels action and amplifies results. Now, imagine if you combined all these elements: awareness, deliberate thought, visualization, belief, action, curiosity, focus, and discipline. What would happen if you applied them consistently every day? The answer is simple. You would become a person capable of achieving anything you desire. Your mind would become a magnet for opportunity, your actions aligned with purpose, and your life a testament to the power of thought. Every great achievement in history began as a thought, a single idea in someone's mind that they nurtured, believed in, and acted upon. The pyramids, the airplane, the internet, the exploration of space, none of these were accidents. Each began with a mind that refused to be limited by circumstance, doubt, or fear. The same power that created those achievements exists within you. So ask yourself this: what is the single most important goal you wish to achieve? Can you see it clearly in your mind? Can you feel the emotion of success as if it is already yours? Are you willing to commit to thinking about it, believing in it, and acting toward it every single day? If the answer is yes, then your mind is already beginning the work. The seed is planted. It is being nurtured. And with persistence, discipline, and focus, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. The mind is the greatest resource you will ever possess. It cannot be stolen, it cannot be lost, and it cannot be taxed. It is yours to cultivate. You can use it to create a life of freedom, purpose, and abundance, or you can allow it to drift into mediocrity and limitation. The choice is always yours. Every thought matters, every decision shapes your destiny, and every day is an opportunity to strengthen the power of your mind. Imagine living a life where doubt is replaced by certainty, fear by courage, hesitation by action, and limitations by possibility. Imagine waking each morning with a clear sense of direction, an unshakable belief in your abilities, and the excitement of moving closer to your dreams. That life is not a fantasy. It is the natural outcome of a mind trained to achieve. Your mind is listening even when you are not paying attention. It absorbs everything: your beliefs, your habits, your environment. Choose carefully what you allow to enter. Feed it knowledge, inspiration, and thoughts aligned with your highest goals. Remove negativity, distractions, and fears. Discipline your mind as you would train a champion athlete or a master musician. With time, patience, and consistent effort, your mind will not only serve you, it will lead you, guide you, and propel you toward the life you desire. And finally, remember this: the world responds to action backed by belief. Thoughts alone are not enough. Belief alone is not enough. Action alone is not enough. But the combination of all three, focused thought, unwavering belief, and persistent action, is unstoppable. When your mind, heart, and hands work together in harmony toward a single purpose, achievement becomes inevitable. You see, every obstacle you encounter is not a stop sign. It is a signal to sharpen your mind, to think differently, and to act with greater clarity. Many people see obstacles as reasons to quit, as proof that their dreams are impossible. But the truth is, obstacles are the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want this? They are tests of your mental strength, your focus, and your determination. Each challenge you overcome is proof that your mind is capable of more than you ever imagined. Ask yourself, how do you approach challenges? Do you see them as burdens or as opportunities to grow? The mind trained for achievement does not shrink in the face of difficulty. It expands. It searches for solutions. It studies patterns. It experiments, and it persists. In fact, the greater the challenge, the greater the opportunity to exercise mental strength, to innovate, and to move closer to your ultimate goal. And let us talk about persistence, because it is persistence more than talent, more than luck, that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The mind that is trained to achieve knows that failure is not the end. It is feedback. Every failure carries within it a lesson, a clue. a stepping stone towards success. Most people quit too soon. They stop before the breakthrough occurs. But the mind that is focused, disciplined, and resilient sees failure as temporary, as information, and as fuel for the next attempt. Consider the power of questions. The human mind is naturally drawn to questions, and the right questions open doors to solutions. How can I achieve this? Who can help me? What can I learn from this setback? Questions direct the mind toward possibilities, toward action, and away from fear. A curious, questioning mind is a creative, problem-solving mind. It never remains stagnant, it never resigns, and it always moves forward. And here is something that is often overlooked. Your environment shapes your mind far more than you realize. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, with ideas that challenge you, and with knowledge that empowers you. Remove distractions that cloud your focus and negativity that dull your ambition. Your mind is a mirror. It reflects what you expose it to. Feed it well and it will shine. Neglect it and it will drift. The power to shape your surroundings and thus your mind is in your hands. Now think about time, your most valuable resource. Every day offers you a finite number of hours, minutes, and seconds. How you use your mental energy within that time determines your results. A trained mind focuses on what matters most, prioritizes actions that lead to success, and eliminates mental clutter. It does not waste energy on things beyond its control, nor does it allow fear, doubt, or indecision to consume precious moments. Time and thought, when properly managed, are the greatest allies of achievement. Another key principle is imagination. Your mind has the power to create realities that do not yet exist. Every invention, every breakthrough, every masterpiece began as a thought, an image, a vision. The difference between the dreamer and the achiever is that the achiever uses imagination as a tool, guiding it with focus and translating it into action. Ask yourself, are you imagining the life you want, or are you letting the world dictate your vision? Train your mind to picture in vivid detail the life you desire, and then commit to bringing that vision into reality. Gratitude is another powerful tool for a trained mind. When you focus on what you already have, your mind becomes open to receiving more. Gratitude shifts attention from scarcity to abundance. It changes your perception, increases resilience, and strengthens belief. The more you practice gratitude, the more your mind aligns with success, because it is impossible to focus on lack and achievement at the same time. Every thought of appreciation is a seed for greater opportunity. And remember, the mind does not grow in isolation. It thrives through action, reflection, and adaptation. The successful mind constantly evaluates its thoughts, measures results, and adjusts strategies. It does not cling stubbornly to failure or comfort. It learns, it improves, it innovates. By cultivating the habit of reflection, you turn every experience into a lesson, every mistake into wisdom, and every success into a foundation for greater achievement. Have you noticed that people often underestimate the power of daily routine? It is the seemingly small, repeated actions that create the largest outcomes. Each time you choose to direct your thoughts purposefully, each time you take an action aligned with your goal, you reinforce the mental pathways that lead to success. Over time, these small, deliberate choices compound into extraordinary results. The mind that trains consistently becomes unstoppable. Now, let us consider fear, one of the greatest obstacles to achievement. Fear is not an external force, it is a creation of the mind. It grows when you feed it with doubt, worry, and indecision. But the mind that is trained for success recognizes fear, confronts it, and acts despite it. Every time you take action in the presence of fear, your mind strengthens. Fear becomes a signal of growth rather than a barrier. The more you face it, the smaller it becomes and the larger your possibilities. Self-talk is another hidden factor that influences achievement. The thoughts you repeat to yourself silently, privately, every day shape your identity and your results. Negative self-talk undermines potential. Positive, empowering self-talk builds confidence, focus, and resilience. Train your mind to speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply admire. Speak words of encouragement, affirmation, and belief. Your internal dialogue is the script by which your life unfolds. And consider the ripple effect of your thoughts. Every decision, every attitude, every focus of your mind influences the world around you. When your mind is trained, disciplined, and positive, it not only directs your actions but also inspires others, attracts resources, and creates momentum. Your achievements are not isolated. They are part of a greater network of influence, opportunity, and contribution. The trained mind creates impact far beyond personal success. Finally, think about the legacy of your mind. The ideas you cultivate, the beliefs you strengthen, and the actions you take leave an imprint, not only on your life, but on the lives of those around you. The mind trained to achieve is a mind that elevates, inspires, and shapes the future. Every thought matters, every choice counts, and every day is an opportunity to build a mind capable of extraordinary accomplishment. So, ask yourself again, what are you willing to do today to train your mind? What thoughts will you allow, what habits will you create, and what actions will you take? The answers to these questions will determine the life you live, the goals you achieve, and the legacy you leave. Your mind is your greatest asset, your most powerful tool, and your surest path to the life you have always dreamed of.